Speaker, please stand. Every time the speaker stands so that everyone is reminded of what he said.
Fiecare speaker este invitat să se ridice astfel încât să mai venim încă o dată și să ne amintim ce au spus.
So Ahmed has spoken about, you can reduce the music a little anyway.
Puteți să da volumul mai încet, vă rog?
Ahmed has spoken about climate change, how it is impacting education. He has talked about how climate change is impacting health risks and psychological impact as well. He talked about access to education is also changing in the coastal region of the world. Government and authorities are recognizing the importance of making changes in practices, therefore, and climate shocks are also becoming another reality. He brought us close to the reality of climate change.
Domnul profesor ne-a vorbit despre impactul schimbărilor climatice în educație și despre importanța acestor schimbări, trebuie să ținem cont de ele în tot ceea ce facem.
A big clap for Ahmed. And next we have the team from Kazakhstan, Madam Kulash and Madam Akmanal, right? Please stand up. Yes, please stand up. Madam Kulash and Madam Akmanal from Kazakhstan, they talked about the exact steps being taken. You can keep standing so that they clap for you at the end. At the end you should clap. They talked about the exact steps being taken with respect to sustainable development goals in their school. They talked about eco-network. They talked about the combination through education, the interdependence of planet, people, partnerships and peace. Thank you. A beautiful country, Kazakhstan. Thank you.
Sistemul de educație și despre activitățile pe care dumneavoastră le derulează în școală în legătură cu ceea ce înseamnă mediul înconjurător și, repet, au detaliat pașii care trebuie urmați pentru a avea un mediu înconjurător cât mai curat și sănătos.
I was the third speaker. I talked about how the universities are bringing green practices on their campuses. I talked about waste management, the concept of zero waste, how transport is changing within campuses to make it sustainable, how food practices from chemical and processed food back to farm food, farm to the plate is what is being done, green design of buildings and green energy creation, and within the curriculum, the green elements being brought in. Many examples of different universities around the world was given.
Domnul profesor a vorbit despre spații de vest din școli, din universități, din orașe, despre folosirea mijloacelor de transport verzi, astfel încât să reduce cât mai mult poluarea.
Now you can give the clap. So make this a common practice. Let the speaker stand up, whose summary is being told, and let the translation be done. Then you give the clap, and then the person sits down. Then we had a very good.
Să aplaudați după ce vă voi traduce.
We had a very good, detailed, written and also a video presentation from Professor Maswari from on natural education. Let me correctly spell her name. Giannina Masari, Alexandra Ioancuza University of Iasi. We are going there tomorrow, and she made a very well researched and also a film. That's the only film in the presentation. She talked about authentic learning concept, which refers to educational process in which knowledge is acquired through meaningful, relevant, applicable experiences of learning. She talked about learning in the nature, sitting in the nature, and learning material spread across the park, open space. She talked about how 3,000 square meter of her area is being used in education. Very beautiful, direct experiences, interdisciplinary and development of socio-emotional skills. And when she was presenting, I was reminded of the university set up by Nobel Prize winner in literature from India. His name is Rabindranath Tagore. He has put up Shantiniketan University, where 70% of the classes, except the reigns, are done outside the classroom, not inside the building. Thank you, madam. Where is the madam? Where is the lady? She's outside. Okay, never mind.
Profesor Masari de la Universitatea din Iași a vorbit despre un concept nou, respectiv învățarea outdoors. care include diferite activități prin care copiii sunt conștientizați în legătură cu importanța elementelor mediului înconjurător.
Thank you, madam. The next speaker, please stand up. Our dear young handsome friend Mr. Baha from Egypt. Please stand up. Yes. So he spoke about education and sustainable development, the interrelationship areas. He also talked about the teacher's critical role in this education, which is sustainable. And then he took the example of President Sisi of Egypt, his New Beginnings initiative, which is on investing on human capital sustainably through diverse, many programs. And he showed pictures of all those programs. Explanation.
Domnul profesor a vorbit despre importanța sistemului de educație și mai ales a profesorului în educarea copiilor în legătură cu mediul înconjurător, cu sustenabilitatea în acest domeniu și de asemenea a vorbit despre implicarea președintelui în acest nou program de President Assisi, da, președintele Assisi, implicarea dumnealui în programul acesta de sustenabilitate a școlilor și a educației.
Okay, the next speaker was Mikhaila, madam. Are you here? Also from Austria? I don't think she is sitting. So, in brief, she talked about education for children in digital times. She talked about online and offline education integration, points of care and concern when introducing digital to the child, and tools and strategies for responsible future of the child. These were our themes.
Doamna profesor a vorbit despre educarea copiilor în era digitală, despre educarea lor offline și online și mai ales despre combinarea celor două metode de învățare.
So clap for her in her absence. Then we had our good friend Jitendra Matlani from UAE, Dubai, who gave on behalf of World Book of Records London a memento, a trophy to Madam Corina, and he explained the concept, which is very beautiful concept from Indian origin. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family. Sustainability is the only way to survive. Please stand.
Sustenabilitatea este singurul mod de a supraviețui și de asemenea a vorbit despre trofeul pe care l-a oferit doamnei Corina Șușdea.
No, I request the speaker to stand so that people remember what he was telling or she was telling, and then explanation, then clap. Clap must be understanding clap, not just a mechanical clap. Okay. So we had a very smart presenter from Egypt, Mr. Hani Mina, director of St. Paul's. Are you here? St. Paul's School and College from Egypt. He talked about very beautiful concept, knowing about something versus knowing something. Knowing about something is remote. Knowing something is actually doing it, experiential. And he talked about three committees. Activities committee, which was for experiential and sustainable learning of students. Youth committee, going beyond education, through concerts, through ports, visit to Upper Egypt with the children of the poorer families, working with them, all that the youth committee. Then he talked about the formation committee. This is very interesting words he used. I don't know if you could gather in that hurry because we were all doing hurriedly. Information, reformation, transformation, right? Information, making the teachers understand. Reformation, making the teachers change their behavior and work, our methodology. And transformation, becoming qualitatively better teachers. And he showed lot of illustrated good examples in photographs to explain the work of activities committee, youth committee and formation committee. Thank you.
Despre faptul de a ști ceva și de a ști despre ceva, făcând o comparație între aceste două concepte. De asemenea, a dat câteva exemple de bune practici pe care dumnealor le aplică. Era vorba despre mersul la concerte în zonele cu copii săraci, diferite activități pe care dumnealor le au cu aceste categorii de persoane. Și concluzia a fost, bineînțeles, că trebuie să scoată copiii din sala de clasă și să le arătăm realitatea.
Clap for him. Very good. Very good. Then we have Mihaila Vasiloya, Madam Mihaila Vasiloya, who represents George Bacau University, and she spoke about the various courses, programs, initiatives, practices of the university, and it's very interesting. We can know more from her.
Doamna profesor de la Universitatea George Bacovia din Bacău a vorbit despre importanța programelor Erasmus, dumneavoastră fiind și coordonatoarea acestor programe, din câte am înțeles, la universitate, și despre impactul acestor programe asupra studenților pe care dumneavoastră îi formează.
Clap for you. All right. Thank you. Then we had from India Dr. Amrish Saxena and Dr. Sushmita Bala. They represent South Asian University, SAU, which is a university of 8 countries of South Asia: India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Afghanistan. If I am not wrong.
Domnul profesor reprezintă o universitate care este a 8 țări. O să traduc puțin mai pe scurt, pentru că e un lucru destul de diferit față de ceea ce știm noi.
Their research was based on quality of PhD research, doctoral research for sustainable development in education. They focused on SDG 4, which talks about education for all, inclusive and equitable quality. They talked about 11 indicators of SDG 4 and 7 targets under this. They looked at, from this PhD thesis, they looked at originality, innovativeness, research ethics, and compliance to international rules. And all of these research, largely, not all, but largely, were found to be relevant to South Asia because the institute caters to South Asian education. Thank you. Please.
Lor au prezentat un studiu făcut în 6 țări, dacă mi-amintesc, 8 țări, scuze, mulțumesc, în privința educației sustenabile.
Thank you. Thank you. Exact translation is not required, only meaning is enough. And you are doing a great job. Thank you. I could not have done that job in translation. Okay. Next we move to two very energetic teachers. One of them I know for long, Mr. Mohammed Fatah and Mr. Imam Siktoi. Please stand up, Morocco. Are you there? No, they are also not here. How sad. Oh yeah, he's clicking. He's clicking the pictures at the end. Okay, now first listen to what they have said once again.
Veți vedea pe domnul profesor în colțul opus al sării.
Madam, you missed the summary of your talk. It was very good. We just summarized it. Anyway, and we clapped in your absence also. Okay. For the Morocco speakers, let's continue. Adapting learning activities to sustainable development. They talked about project-based learning, which is experiential or learning by doing. Project-based learning. They talked about content and language integrated learning. How language and learning integration can be done in sustainable education, CLIL they called it. They talked about connecting schools with a green mind. So many schools connected together who have a green mind. They talked about Earth Day project, integrating sustainable development in mainstream education. Don't consider sustainable education separately. Bring it within the mainstream education. That is, otherwise it is extra work for the teachers. Very interesting point. They talked about distance education, open education, remote education, hybrid and blended education, how all of these are contributing to sustainable education. And they talked about connecting classroom projects across multiple schools. If I am not wrong, this is the sum and substance of a very beautiful presentation from Morocco.
Domnul profesor a prezentat un concept nou, respectiv conectarea claselor din diferite părți ale țării, dar și din diferite țări, având principalul scop learning by doing, adică să învățăm făcând. Și în felul acesta elevii vor învăța mult mai bine anumite aspecte ale vieții și, bineînțeles, vor contribui la o educație sustenabilă, nu numai în domeniul ecologiei, cu siguranță toate domeniile vieții.
Madam, we summarized your paper in your absence and everyone clapped for it, but you were not there at the time. Never mind. We continue. The next talk, very interesting scientific talk from Rajnikant Bhatt. Please stand up, Professor Rajnikant Bhatt from India, from the Bhavans College of Mumbai. Mumbai is the business capital of India, also the Bollywood capital of India, as you know. He is a chemistry teacher, he has been into teachers training. Interestingly, he made an analogy of 17 sustainable goals with 17 principles of thermodynamics. So those who are science people would have understood him very well. I'd urge him that he should make a good article on it for a scientific journal or for a sustainability journal. And this analogy is usually not found. Very innovative way of explaining a scientific concept with a socio-economic and cultural concept together. Thank you very much. Please start.
Domnul profesor care este vorbă de chimie, a făcut o prezentare științifică. Dumnealui
Yeah, you should stand. One or two.
probabil a scris sau va scrie un articol științific pe tema aceasta și a vorbit despre importanța termodinamicii în toate aspectele vieții noastre, prezentând 17 obiective și cu exemple de bune practici pentru fiecare dintre acestea.
Thank you, sir. Okay, then we have Madam Lakra Miora Fira from Romania. Are you here? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Please stand. Please stand. We should also have the habit of standing when we make our students stand. And think of this lady. She's standing from the morning. So, Lakra Moria, madam, spoke about connecting classrooms for a sustainable future. She talked about Erasmus Plus and e-twinning. Very interestingly, twinning many schools, many students through the e-medium. E-twinning, she talked about 3R, reduce, reuse and recycle. 3R principles, and let's fight for a better world project. She explained that in details with pictures and all. Thank you, madam. Please.
Doamna profesoară Romania de la Seminarul Teologic Sfântul Ioan de Aur din Cluj a prezentat două proiecte Erasmus, dar dumneavoastră este ambasador e-twinning și reunește foarte multe persoane din multe țări sub umbrela aceasta e-twinning și Erasmus Plus. Cele două proiecte probabil au teme oarecum diferite, dar au și puncte comune. Primul proiect, The 3Rs, reduce, reutilizează și reciclează. Și cel de-al doilea, să facem o lume mai bună, în care proiecte în care studenții, elevii dumneavoastră au fost implicați și probabil au fost foarte încântați.
Big clap for her. She speaks great English also. Okay, we had a very interesting presentation, and this is very close to my heart because it introduces media. Can I have Dr. Professor Nilofer, please, from Turkey? Yes. And Madam talked about, this is news to me, Ramsar Agreement of Turkey, media examples. Ramsar Agreement, as she has very rightly explained, Ramsar areas are specific areas in Turkey which are ecologically fragile, wetlands with low volume of water. Many endangered species live there, and many a time their lives are at risk. Sustainable practices needed for these creatures there. She talked about it. She understood that it's easy to still educate the child, but it's important to also sensitize the adults who may not be much educated towards these creatures in Ramsar areas. Also government for policy making towards preservation, conservation of Ramsar areas, but most importantly to media to show the real images and narratives. And she appealed, do not only follow virtual reality, please be focused on actual reality.
Doamna profesoară a vorbit despre un concept foarte interesant și puțin cunoscut, este vorba despre zonele Ramsar din Turcia, zone pe care guvernul le are în vedere pentru a le susține, zone în care există foarte puțină apă și de asemenea a atras atenția asupra faptului că uneori suntem păcăliți de media prin imagini, prin diferite colaje și ar fi bine să vedem realitatea și orice plantă, insect, copac, animal în mediul său de viață și importanța fiecăruia în ecosistem.
Thank you. Before I leave, I should tell that RELTTAW which began its journey 2 years ago, has crossed 4 countries, and this is the 5th country: Denmark, India, Egypt, Turkey, and now in Romania. And very soon will be again in other countries in 2025, minimum 2. I don't know which countries. This is a secret. She will tell us. Yes, but
Welcome you to Dubai.
okay, everywhere we'll go. Finally, Kazakhstan, Dubai, Nepal, Poland, everywhere we'll go. But yeah, so no, please, that's important. We need to find sponsors. But you must know which is the RELTTAW board that has started and taking this work front. So let me call the board members, starting from President Corina Suzea, the President of RELTTAW board. There is an international board.
Aceasta este a cincea ediție a proiectului RELTTAW. Primele 4 au fost în Danemarca, India, Turcia și Egipt. Aceasta cincea întâlnire fiind în România. Și dumnealui se simte parte din comitetul organizator.
And we have our secretary, our very dear Dr. Malini Yuganathan from Malaysia. Please join. She is the secretary of RELTTAW.
Doamna profesor este secretara RELTTAW.
So see, I am between the president and the secretary. Okay. We have the
Dumnealui
pleasure.
este între președintă și secretară.
I'm executive body member, the board member, and I'm also happy from India, and I'm also happy to call another board member, Dr. Izzat Hussain from Egypt. Please join us. And the organizer of the first program of RELTTAW, and also a board member, Romanian by birth, but Denmark lady by citizenship perhaps. So she's staying in Denmark at the moment. Okay, Miss Manuela, Dr. Manuela Dan, please join. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a bow. This is the RELTTAW board for you, global board for RELTTAW, organizing program country after country, 2 more countries in 2025. Let's take a bow together.
2025 vom fi pe 2 organizatoare,